fucked.
Well, it was another pimp-ass week for you, wasn't it?
What do you mean?
I mean, bet you were living some sort of pimp lifestyle this week.
Are we rolling?
We're
now?
rolling. We're
Oh, I
going.
thought I didn't know you cut it already. Shit.
Yeah. Or nothing much.
Nothing much. I've been working all week.
Yeah.
I did a lot of I won't say the name, but I did a lot of my company stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been catching up. So.
Well, you've had plenty of crazy weeks. I remember the week where you banged 3 girls like back to back to back.
There was like I remember when I talked to this guy. I talked to John first time because I called him up and I was like, I don't believe this stuff. It was like 10-day period. It was like 7 girls in a 10-day period. It was freaking crazy.
Wow.
And yeah, it just is. It was weird. It was
well,
strange.
you did that like a course that kind of taught you some of the like principles of like escalating and dating. But I mean, the guy who taught the course must have been surprised himself that you were getting like crazy.
No, if you actually just if you just listen and
sky's the limit.
Then the sky, just implement. Just hear what they say, implement it, sort of own it, and develop your own style. Yeah, it wasn't a deal at all. I'm still sort of steaming about Sydney right now.
Yeah.
God, she just messed up my weekend, man.
Yeah. You're in a tricky situation because you told her, that's off limits. She went towards your computer for the umpteenth time.
She was like, I thought she was listening to us just talking before we started, and she was just checking to see if we were in here, and then went back in there, and walked, and I just like when she did it, she was trying to giggle her way out of it, and I just was like staring, like I was mad, and I wasn't mad at her for doing it. I expected her to do it. Well, I was mad because she messed up my weekend. She's forcing me to enforce my boundary. So that's what I'm mad at.
You think it's almost that she wants to get caught because she came pretty close to the room we're in right now to check if we were talking when she could have easily done that around the corner where we never even saw her checking.
Yeah, but I don't think she thought we saw her, or I don't think she. I don't think she put 2 and 2 together. Right. Like we would have figured out she was doing that.
Well, you went out of the house for a while, right? You were out of the house for a while.
Well, I think she thought we were shooting when we were just talking.
Oh, so she thought we were going to be tied up for a while. She thought we were just going to
be tied up for a while. And then all of a sudden we walk back in, and she's in there.
Yeah. Well, you told her if this happened again, you'd ice her for about 2 weeks. Yeah.
And then you'd found out a way out of it, and then that got messed up. So now I'm like, God. Like, why is she making me enforce a boundary? That's why I'm upset. But,
well, we're thinking now it's I thought that maybe it'd be a good like ice melter for you guys to get back into it.
Yeah, that was a good idea. Actually.
If once you had that pent up aggression from her invading your
you should just say your idea, that way it's clear.
Yeah, I told you to go in there, just bang her,
let off her clothes, bang her.
Let your frustration out in that sense, and I
think if that had happened, I could have worked through it and maybe not had to enforce the boundary.
If it had happened originally when it had happened.
No. When I went in and she gave me a hard no, so I wasn't going to push past that.
Yeah.
And she's trying to like turn it around on me, like because, she goes into my messages and there was some girl texting me and I texted back. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm a dating coach. Of course, I talk to girls. What do you expect? So. She's trying to like flip the script, and I'm just like not having it. So
it sucks because if you follow through with what you said, you're kind of fucking kicking yourself in the ass.
Too, I'm kicking myself too if I do. Yeah, for sure.
But I guess the best thing to do is stand by your word. Your word is who you are, is what they say, or something along those lines. And
that's the problem. If you don't do it, then they won't believe you next time.
They'll step on you again. Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, people are just so misbehaved. I think I talked to Huds about this, and like if you're in a tribal society of 100 people, you have to learn to work with each other, but there's so many people everywhere. People just leave relationships because there's just another person around the corner. You don't have to work it out ever. Just like find a new person, and it's easy to do. So I think people are just not skilled at dealing with personal problems anymore. They just walk away and find another one. And I just noticed bad behavior. I've had to like consistently correct. And I think you can just expect bad behavior these days. You just have to expect it.
Yeah.
And you can't just like next a girl because she does something. But in this case, I told her this is what's going to happen. She did it anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think if even after correcting the bad behavior, it keeps happening, then maybe that the corrections that you're employing aren't the top ones. Maybe there's some other thing you could.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm just thinking maybe there would be something that you could possibly do that would.
I didn't understand. I mean, I understand them better than I used to, like setting a boundary or having a boundary. But the thing about it is, I've heard also, like I talked to Ryan Christensen, and he said, like have a boundary and then just enforce it. You don't need to tell somebody your boundaries. If you have a boundary, just enforce the boundary when they cross over it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that's a better way to do it, because you're still teetering on ultimatums if you tell a boundary, right? Whereas if you just have one and then just enforce it when the person does it, then you're not doing that for sure. Not doing that.
So what'd you do after that? You just kept the laptop running in the other room?
Yeah, it's running in there. So whatever.
Yeah.
She goes in.
She's already been in. So.
Well, I don't care. It's more of a, you're not supposed to than anything else. I don't have anything I'm hiding, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
So let's get into the other stuff. So I can just get off of this this little train.
Yeah, you had some
I'm a little
ideas.
agitated because of it.
No, I bet. I can imagine.
Like you know what we should do? Let's do the thing first, because that'll be fun to do a story. We should get the
whole box.
The whole box.
All right, we got a box of artifacts here.
You want to grab it?
Why don't you go ahead and grab it? Thanks. Yeah, we got a box here with some belongings of some of the people living in and out of this house.
Should I put it on the floor?
Put it right down the table. I'll pick something out, and Ray's gonna fuck it. I'll bleep that out.
I don't care if it's Chris or Ray.
Ray's gonna give us some history based on whatever I dig up, So I'll tell you.
There's like a.
So I got a shirt here. Somebody left home without their shirt.
They left without a whole outfit. The black pants belonged to the shirt.
Oh wow! So they left with their.
Well, I had this little box originally. And then that got too small, so I had to...
Is there stuff in there still, or no?
Yeah, there's still stuff in there.
Okay.
There's like earrings and...
Fucking bra. Big pads. What size is this?
What's that, that's like a B.
It's a B?
Yeah.
Heavy pad on that one, though.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else we got. Oh. Another bra. Is that bigger? Or my eyes
yeah, that's definitely
me?
Bigger. I don't even know who this is. Wait.
What is that? What size?
Let's see if I can recollect.
Well, don't go into the story unless I pick that up.
No, okay. I'm just trying to remember who it is.
What size is that?
I bet it's... That's probably it.
The tag says it. Yeah. I bet you that's a D.
It's a D. Yeah, sure. D.
Somebody left behind.
That's a nice bra. It's Victoria's Secret.
Pants.
That goes with the white...
They went home without their jeans. And, okay, whatever I pick out next is what I want to go with.
All right. Hopefully I know. I know what it is.
Something. Here we go.
I don't know what those are. That's like granny panties.
This is... No, it's top.
Oh.
No, it's panties.
That's like granny panties. Jesus, look at that. Whose was that?
And white. Laura Ashley. Large. They're large.
They're large?
What the fuck? Tell us about that.
I don't know what it is. I don't even know. I don't know these. I wonder... I wonder if they're Shannon's.
Do they have crotch pockets?
No.
Okay, so they're definitely female.
Yeah, they're definitely female. I just don't know whose they are. Well, I think you have to give us something else.
They're thick as fuck. We got to get that out of the box if you can't find it.
That's funny, though. Granny panties.
Laura Ashley white granny panties. Okay. All right, we got a lace bra.
I think I know this one.
All right.
Wait, that can't be the right person. Is there another black one in there?
Yeah, there's another one.
Pick out the other black one, because I know that person. I don't know who this is.
Now, this is like a standard heavy pad.
This is Harsh's, I think.
Yeah?
Pretty sure. But I would think they'd be bigger for her, though.
That was your second quote-unquote long-term, like consistent, seeing her week after week after week for several weeks.
Yeah, I met her. She came over from a dating app, and pretty sure I did my regular date where she just came over. I cooked dinner. I usually can escalate pretty good cooking dinner because I can touch a lot and have them do stuff and put them on the counter, anything like that, and then do like drinks on the couch, and then I can physically escalate.
Yeah.
And I remember with her, I took her downstairs, and I started making out upstairs, went downstairs, and we were about to screw, and she's like, "Do you have a condom?" And I was like, "I can pull out." And she goes, "Okay." So we did, right? And then after, she's like, "Are you clean?" She goes, "I should have asked that beforehand." Like, yeah. I don't know how many girls have done that.
She was on 0 birth control, nothing at all.
God, I know.
Completely natural. One load and you would have been who knows, No,
I always pulled out with her.
Yeah, you had to.
Thank God she enforced that, because I'm an idiot when it comes to that. I probably would have anyway.
Well, you missed.
I remember. What's that?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I remember Marissa. She had a guy she was sort of primarily with. I was her dom for just our thing, and so I wore a condom with her, and she's like, "What if?" We were talking out on the porch, and she says, "Well, what if I tried to trick you and get pregnant?" And I said, "Well, I'm an idiot. I probably would just do it." If you said don't use a condom, I probably would.
You're in there, dude.
That's like, I'm stupid.
Well, you got those lambskins that if worst comes to worst.
So much better. Did you use one?
I haven't yet. No, I've yet to try it, but apparently they feel like as close as you can to nothing at all, but no protection against STDs.
Yeah, just pregnancy protection. But if you have to use one, those are really nice to use. They're expensive though. They're like $4.50 or
per condom, not per pack.
Think about it though. You're having sex, so
right?
Whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess if you're having sex 3 or 4 or 5 times a day, it gets expensive. But
yeah, and if you're banging a hot girl,
yeah.
What's the worst STD you can get? Fucking chlamydia.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I know it's sort of weird. I notice. I mean, I would never suggest people don't wear a condom. It's strange that I never picked one up as bad as I was.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I sort of stratified it out. I sort of was thinking it was like tiers of people. Like there's these people at the top that are just banging each other, so they're not passing along the same things as like people down here.
Yeah.
I don't know for a fact.
But probably the case is that a lot of these girls, if they're banging, these are younger girls, so if they're banging guys their age, it's likely that a lot of the time they make them wear condoms.
Well, that's the other thing I noticed.
If they wind up in a situation where they're with this older guy, he's doing well, he's got a nice house, and they start to get juiced up, they're, the times you've had to wear a condom probably...
Right. That's a good point.
...are such a small percentage of the total time.
Yeah, I have that saying, rock stars never have to wear a condom because the hotter a girl thinks a guy is, she doesn't want him to wear a condom.
So you get to enjoy the natural thing while they've, protected themselves, hopefully.
And I've had girls confirm that too, to say I would make some guys wear a condom and other guys not.
And that works out just fine because then you're covered.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. It's just that pregnancy you got to watch out for,
I'm a dick. I'm a dumbass. I sent... this girl came over. What's her name? I can't remember. And she went home, and she's like, "Well, I'm not on birth control. I'll get a morning after pill." So I texted her later. I was like, "Did you get that morning after pill?" She's like, "I got to go to the town later. I'll get it." And I was like, "Okay." Text her the next day. I said, "Did you get the morning after pill?" She's like, "No, I didn't get to town. I'll go in today." And then the third day, I'm like, "Did you get the morning after pill?" She's like, "No, I hadn't got into town yet." And I'm like, "I can go get you one and bring it to you if you want." I was like freaking out.
Yeah.
I was so worried. I was like, "Oh my God, this girl is not responsible."
So, you'd think they'd be the most concerned, but if she actually has something to gain if she fucking was...
I don't know, dude.
Fertilizing your
I didn't hear
seed.
from her again, so...
You hope she took it? Maybe she didn't? It's been 9 months, so...
it's been a long time.
Whatever happened.
Yeah.
But you left out one important detail. How old was the person who's black for
she was 23.
23
we saw each other for...
Probably about
6 months or so. Yeah, it was like February. I know it was in February of 2020.
That it ended.
No, that's when we started. And then...
So 8 months, 6 months later would be August.
It was before 4th of July. It was right before.
So like 4 months, maybe 5 months, yeah.
And then, I mean, we had good sex. It's just sexual. I mean, I guess you would say we didn't call ourselves boyfriend and girlfriend. That's what we were.
Right.
It wasn't like we were just dating each other.
No, I know. But you guys got together a month before COVID. So then after that shelter in place took in, you guys built up months worth of relationship time until
Well, she was also sexually compatible. She liked to have sex as much as I did.
Yeah.
And it was good sex too.
Yeah.
So
the
funny thing is about her, in the beginning, she would stare at me in the car. She'd just look at me,
So fascinating.
Then like it's funny because as we sort of got longer and longer, it just sort of wore off over time.
Yeah.
Oh man, it is what it is. I wasn't gonna ever marry a 23-year-old
right,
anyway, so whatever.
Yeah.
Remember, I told you like because we saw each other quite a bit more than I would recommend somebody see somebody, because if you see somebody more than once a week, you're gonna get some kind of attachment feelings.
Yeah, and you were doing it at a time where you couldn't go out anywhere. You were stuck. You were seeing each other this much.
Yeah.
In close quarters with no external
I was working
stimulation.
from home too, so she was just staying for the more. Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember a month before she broke it off. I was like, I think I told you, I was like, I think I might start to get feelings. I got to probably break this thing off. I just could feel like there was like, it wasn't like I was like in love. It was just like, there's a bond being created here. I probably need to go ahead and sever this. And then she severed it. And it ended up being the best thing.
Yeah. And it was a learning experience in the end, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess anytime even if you're not like highly attached, somebody in your life, if you lose them, you're used to, like, you know a lot about them. Mm-hmm. You spend a lot of time with them. I guess you still have to go through some kind of grief cycle, but it isn't that impactful. It's just like, I'm like, are you kidding me? You know, sort of like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I guess I would say the guy shouldn't feel bad about that.
No.
I feel like if you don't get some kind of attachment with enough time, then you're something wrong with you. You should as a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what happened with her too was a case of it got to a point where it wasn't as exciting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was sort of the same old thing because we're still in COVID. We're doing the same old thing.
Exactly. And it just goes to show you that these younger girls especially are after a good time first and foremost. You know what I mean? And no matter how much of a charismatic guy you are, no matter how fun you are to be around, there's only so much that you can put out there that they respond to before you have to do all these other things. You know, like take them out this way, go this place, you know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, you couldn't do it at the time, you know. It was lockdown.
Yeah, I wasn't, and also I'm not like an entertainer. I'm not there to entertain somebody else. So, you know, if somebody gets bored,
it's their situation, And
it's
you got
it's not my job to fix that.
No, definitely. And you gotta, you know, she'll learn that down the line that she has to sort of just, you know, it's the lesson that these young girls who've got so many options coming to them learn later on, which is that, you know, you're in it for the person, not the experiences. But that's relationship stuff, you know.
Yeah.
You did mention how old she was, but my question was, you know, this girl left behind a couple of bras. How many of the girls that you were seeing didn't wear a bra to go see you? Was it a common thing?
No, I think pretty much everybody maybe 5% or something.
I'm seeing a lot of.
You know why I remember? Because that's the one thing I'm bad with bras. Like I can't unhitch one. Like some people can unhitch it with one. It takes me
both hands.
Most of the time, I actually will say you take it off.
Yeah.
I'll tell the girl to do it because I'm just not. I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah.
Which is so strange because I've taken off so many.
Yeah.
But I still freaking have a hard time with them.
Yeah. And I'd rather have them take off the bra and do the cool move, you know, where they unlatch it and then hold it up with their hands and then kind of drop it, rather than you kind of have that.
That is a nice move. I do like that move.
It's much better to have them do that than to struggle with it for a few seconds and kill the momentum. You know?
Well, what I do actually, usually, if I'm with a girl the first time, is I usually don't even take her bra off before we start having sex.
You have sex with the bra still on?
Because of there's so much that could kill momentum. I don't even take shirt off a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Start and then take off.
Yeah.
Because, you know, by the time you're doing that, somebody can change their mind.
Yeah.
Once you're doing it, nobody's going to change their mind. But
yeah,
so minimum clothes come off before we start.
Yeah.
And then clothes come off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to rip the clothes off. You ever done that?
No, I've not ever ripped anybody's clothes.
It's tricky business because girls are so attached to their clothes that you could, you know.
But also would be hard to do with a lot of outfits.
Yeah, we're not Hulk Hogan, but
you look like you're trying to rip it and you look
weak. But with a pair of like cheap leggings, which are common all over the place, since girls have so many, they have some cheap pairs. With those, you could just fucking tear a hole in it, you know.
Yeah.
Or let your nail grow out a little bit and just use that to fucking saw it open and just get in there.
Dude, I like to keep my nails short.
You got to. I know you got to. But if you have a coke nail, you can
Mine
get to.
Mine grow so fast. I think it looks. I hate seeing guys with long nails. I think it just looks disgusting.
Well, you know what it is. You take biotin. We take biotin.
With what?
It's in the multivitamins you take. I'm sure it's in there somewhere.
Okay. All right.
And biotin grows your nails like a motherfucker, super fucking quick. Okay. I have to trim them all the time.
Yeah.
You finger girls a lot. You take your time with that.
Yeah, I mean, girls don't. It isn't like. sort of weird. I noticed the more girls liked me, the more I got familiar and used to girls, the less I had to even, unless I wanted to do foreplay.
Yeah.
I didn't ever have to.
You'd cut straight to it.
But I like going down on a girl.
Yeah.
I like fingering a girl and going down on her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do that a lot. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The natural transition of going down on them. And getting your finger in there while you go down on them.
You feel the G-spot in there.
Well, you got to do a friggin' how-to series.
I know. I thought about that already. Yeah.
Put it up.
Like you're looking. You got like do this.
I mean, you've done it above the girl's clothes and fucking made them come up.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Like that's. I've said that. I'm like, you don't even have to take a girl's pants off. You can just start. You can do it on top of the clothes if you know what you're doing. You press hard enough.
I know.
Yeah.
So I got to see that. We'll put it together a video fucking series at some point with like some actual fucking footage.
Like, you don't really have to take off a lot of clothes to get escalation going. You don't even have to pull a shirt off. Like, you can pull the shirt down.
Yeah.
You know, you like pull it this way.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is, like, with that, if you're like pretty cool about it, and you play or you suck for a bit, and then you put the shirt back up again, she's not used to that. Like the guy actually covering it up again.
Yeah.
And it sort of short circuits something a little bit.
Yeah.
It makes her feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah. It's all up here, and I actually just a couple days ago I haven't told you about this yet, but I downloaded. Google fucking knows everything, dude.
Yeah.
And I haven't been looking up dating stuff, but I've been editing this podcast, starting this podcast, and just based on my editing things alone and my podcast uploads, Google gave me an ad.
Are you serious?
By this lady who has this thing called the Wing Girl or something like that. And it was like a 15-minute ad. I watched the whole thing. It was actually pretty enticing, where she tells you that she has spent years compiling information, doing research, where she'll present to you exactly what you need to do to get that response from girls. And not just sexual response, but just like escalation response. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I thought it'd be interesting to get it from a girl's perspective, even if whatever opinion I form after actually going through the material, at least you know what they're saying to each other.
Yeah.
And I bought it. I did the whole thing. I signed up for the course.
Oh, yeah? Did you check it out?
We'll look through it together.
Right, cool.
I haven't yet, but even girls, we haven't really looked for it, but even girls are going out there and putting out this info.
Yeah.
There's probably out there a girl equivalent of what we're doing right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
I think there's, you remember what I said I'm going to try to start here, or what I'm going to start here? There's actually somebody that Alex knows that's a high-level dating coach that works this area.
Oh, really?
It's a girl. Yeah.
It's a girl.
And she does exactly what I was talking about doing, getting like really high-level guys. When I say high-level, I mean wealthy guys. So she does that as well. So I might end up getting introduced to her at some point.
If you get to know her, maybe we could even have her as our first guest on the show,
that'd
where
be cool.
we actually compare info and stuff.
Yeah.
But we got to get back out there and have you freaking actually
like bring some some guests for the show, bring some girls for the show for sure.
Yeah, because you've gone through a little bit of a hibernation for a few months now.
Yeah.
But you were able to squeeze so much into that first year and a half.
I was sort of tired.
I bet, dude. Like that was fucking outstanding. Like you kept that going for a while. It was like a full sprint on pace.
I was thinking about it like that life was most guys would like dream of that life.
Yeah.
Just have never heard of anything like that.
Yeah.
And that wasn't, I still was holding down a full-time job and had kids and did that. So imagine if somebody just like didn't have kids or didn't even work full-time.
Yeah.
I think my goal I set out when I first started dating again was 2 new girls a month.
Yeah.
And never go more than a week without sex.
Right.
Ended up with 50 girls in 12 months. I told you the last one though. I wouldn't have done it again.
We have a guest.
It's in the drawer.
Should we get her in here?
Hey, Sydney. No, anyway, whatever.
I think she heard me say, "Should we get her in here?" And she freaked out a
Took
little.
off.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to get her on here and fucking just, she's your fucking long-term girlfriend.
Oh, fucking deal with that problem in a few minutes. I don't know.
Oh, God.
She's misbehaving bad tonight. Like, I'm definitely going to have to send her home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the name of the game. You got to fucking make the tough choices.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a long game.
I
wonder.
what was I say? Oh, the last one, the The number 50. You know what happened with that, right?
Who's that?
The number 50. I had sort of given up. Like, I wasn't really counting, and actually I've lost count. It was probably more than 50. I would do like remember in Young Guns when Billy the Kid shoots the guy and he says, "Hey Doc, what was that? 25?" And he just talks like 25, and he goes, "Let's call it 10." So I would just like forget.
Right.
I'm like, we'll call it 30. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I had sort of given up on trying to get some kind of goal, and I realized when Harsh cut it off, I started dating again. I was, oh my God, I'm in reach of 50 in 12 months. So I started accelerating. It's like, well, I'm here. I might as well do it because it's just a fun thing to say I did. Mm-hmm. And so the last one, I was on 49. I probably was at 50, and I just don't remember.
Right.
So I'm at 49, and I had a date lined up like Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It might have been Friday, too. And it was like I had multiples on each day. They were stacked, because I was going to get this in. All three fell through. And then on Monday or something like that, the one, I was like, oh, she is not a person I normally would see. I just did it anyway. Just to get to 50.
Just to get the stats, and you had to squeeze.
Just like, whatever.
But you did it, man. 50 in fucking a year.
She was crazy as fuck, too, dude. Like, she would text me, and if I wouldn't text her back, like, she would be like, "Daddy, daddy, 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 daddy." She would just text like multiple times, and that was right when I was moving, and I'm like, thank God I'm moving. I'm gonna have a dead rabbit at my door if I stay here.
Is it the girl who also ended up moving around that same time? She took off. She went somewhere else.
No,
so she's around here somewhere.
Yeah, she's up in Oakland somewhere.
Oh, okay, you won't run in her.
No, she doesn't know. She doesn't know where I live. Thank God.
Your new place, but she was at your old place plenty. Yeah. That's another thing.
The one thing I do like logistically here better is I can meet a girl before bringing her here.
Yeah.
Like at the old place, I would just have them come out to the place. I can't believe how many girls would drive to the mountains down a dark road and show up at some strange guy's house in the middle of the woods.
No cell service.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's just...
They'll go out
do they
there.
Not have any self-preservation instinct?
It's when they freaking get enticed enough.
I think it's exciting to them or something. I think it added to the excitement a little bit.
Yeah. I think you're right.
So I really would try to sort of lay on a little bit of comfort when they got there.
You have to
make sure they know I'm not going to try to act smart or anything.
Yeah.
But I do like this place, this kind of logistics where you have a thing out nearby that you can just meet somebody and get a vibe from them before you bring them to your place.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Should we say where you live? It's a freaking hot
Santana Row.
It's Santana Row, a hot spot of San Jose.
Logistically, this is a great date spot.
Absolutely.
You can't... I walk out my door, a minute and a half, there's a wine bar. I can walk there. So, you can have a wine. Hey, let's go back and see my whatever.
Yeah.
You can meet somebody, say, hey, let's walk around. If we vibe, come back to my place for a drink. And that works. There's bars out there. There's nightclubs out there. There's just hot girls all the time. It's just logistically, this is like the primo spot.
Absolutely. Sure. You just go out there, talk with them for about 10, 15 minutes. That's all you need. Yeah. You gauge them, and you're like, okay, they can come back up. Because once they're in, they've penetrated the fortress, man. Yeah. Like, you're right. You got to watch out for those nutsos. Like
I remember Sydney. When the first day she was coming over, we were supposed to go out to a wine bar, and it was really hot out. She's like, "Hey, we just hang out at your place. It's hot." And I was like, yes. Because at home turf, I got the home field advantage when you get here.
You don't have to take them anywhere.
Exactly.
Come on up. And it's such a freaking pristine area that people actually want to go up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what are the chances of somebody crazy living here?
Exactly. It kind of like filters out anybody who you wouldn't want to be around.
Oh, speaking of that, we should talk about like what I was talking about was the uneven playing field.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
So, we started to talk about it because we were talking about like Sydney getting approached, right? And I'm trying to think of where we left off, but she was trying to tell me she didn't, but then she said she didn't respond back. So the point was, girls are going to get approached. So there's going to be an uneven playing field. If a guy's in a relationship and he's not seeing anybody else, she's going to have options all the time. DM messages from first of all, if she has Snapchat, that's shady anyway.
Yeah.
Instagram, she's going to get DM. So are you really going to date somebody that has Instagram?
Yeah.
I mean, you can just say, I don't seriously date somebody that has Instagram. And we could keep screwing, but I don't seriously commit to anybody or date anybody that, goes to nightclubs, has Instagram. I mean, you're just saying that I don't do that. We can't be serious because you do that type of thing.
Right.
The other thing I was thinking about is I dated a lot of girls who were interested in like polyamory or non-monogamy. And
perfect.
They would tell me they would date guys who they would want to be non-monogamous, but the guy didn't. So my question was sort of, and it always answered the same. Do you think it's because the guy felt like you could get guys, but he couldn't get girls? And every time it was yes. So that made me think about another thing. Let's say you're in a relationship and you're non-monogamous, but you agree we're not going to have somebody at you. This is the thing guys have to think about. We're not going to have somebody at our own house. Well, now you're at another disadvantage because on a date, a girl will come to a guy's house, but a guy is usually not allowed to come to a girl's house because the girl has to worry about stalking. So all of a sudden now she has an advantage because she goes to the guy's houses. You don't have any place to bring the girl. So that's another thing.
Totally.
You got to think about. So you really have to sort of think about like what you're agreeing to and the aftermath, the future of that, what the steps are to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm surprised to hear that these girls actually realized.
Yeah.
They even at their stage in life knew that what they were getting was not equal to what the guys were getting. Because I don't know if they deny it to us or they deny it within themselves, but it seems a lot these days.
I think that they maybe don't understand that it's just I think the girl herself doesn't understand it's unequal playing field. I think she thinks the guy could do it as easily as she doesn't really put herself in the guy's shoes. Like a girl could go on Tinder and get a date tonight.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if she's ugly. She can get a date.
Exactly.
A guy could be hot as fuck, and he could go on and he might not get a date, right?
Sure.
So I don't think they really care that it's uneven playing field. It isn't they don't know. they don't care. They don't care to know, so they just don't know.
Yeah. I'd be concerned with, like, if I was the guy that wanted to be monogamous with them, and they didn't, and I knew that they had a realization that perhaps it was because I couldn't get girls and they could get as many guys as they wanted, I'd be concerned that they're now perceiving me as
like weaker, lesser value.
Yeah, but maybe that girl who mentioned that to you does realize that it's because of the nature of the whole situation.
Yeah, that's true.
She's a girl, she's a guy.
She could, yeah.
But
see, in my situation, I wouldn't care,
right?
Because I can.
Because you can.
Because I can, so it wouldn't bother me.
But even though you can, maybe even then they still realize, well, yeah, he can, but it's not as many as I can get being a girl.
Yeah, but first of all, yeah, you can get a lot, but
because what they'll tell you,
I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
We've heard it. They say, yeah, I can get it, but I have standards. Still.
That's the problem.
You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is the guy or all the guys you can get, are they actually guys that you want to? And that becomes the thing.
Yeah.
I could, if I put my mind to it, I could get a girl every night of the week, but I don't want to put that kind of time into that. That's just too much.
No, for sure. I can imagine.
So, yeah, for sure they have an advantage. They just are lazy. They're like, oh, I feel like getting laid tonight. Punch in something in a dating app, and then they get it, right?
Yeah.
So for sure. And you have to put in more work. That also sort of makes it more successful when you do, too, because you had to actually work for that.
Yeah.
I mean, if a guy had the advantage a girl has about just going on there, he would have 365 new girls a year.
Yeah.
Just like new girl coming over. But those girls don't do that. They could, but they don't. And a guy would if he could. So it's telling me that they really don't want to have that many partners. It's just not a desire.
Yeah. But I think they hit that point because from the moment they reached sexual maturity, they saw what kind of a response they got, right?
Right.
So quickly they reached the point where it's like, yeah, I can, but I want something else, something better, more, right?
Yeah.
But a guy never has that until later in his life when he reaches
You're right.
whatever milestones he set, and now he's in a position of value.
Yeah.
But it took all this time to build up,
Yeah.
so he can run with it much longer. Where he's like, "Yeah, I'll take a different girl every night.
Yeah.
Thank you," for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And there's that disparity there because then a girl reaches her 30s
Yeah.
and she's
Yeah, it's different. Different.
you know, so
Yeah.
there's that unevenness. But it's also why whatever his face is, Gene Simmons, has
That guy.
the same Playboy Playmate model who's been on his ass for like 35 years without
Yeah.
him ever putting a ring on her finger.
Yeah.
And despite however many times he fucking fucks another girl behind her back,
Yeah.
she's still right there by his side because she realizes my
And
value
it's so,
waned
it's
a
so
long time
funny
ago.
to watch this when you showed me that one video where she's like, I'm just leaving you. He's like, no, you're not. He goes, who else are you going to go to?
Yeah.
That guy has got the best frame of any man I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
He like exudes this like control. He's ugly as fuck.
Ugly as
just
sin.
the ugliest guy in the fucking world, and he's hot as fuck.
Right.
Like I know why girls like him because he carries himself in
Yeah.
an amazing way.
Yeah.
And but he's like horrible to look at.
Yeah.
Just
But she still wants him so fucking bad that
Yeah.
she'll put up with whatever.
all his crap.
Whatever it takes.
He's been with like 5,000 girls or something crazy.
and he
like
has
that.
pictures of every single one.
Does he really?
He has them in a
I
safety
didn't know
deposit
that.
box.
Does he really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So maybe one day we'll get to see. I bet you there's a couple fatties in there and like. all
Yeah,
that
for
stuff.
sure.
You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know. I mean, think about it. If he's touring with Kiss, he had his pick.
Or that's
you know?
true. That's true.
Yeah,
But at a certain point, maybe you got to just mix it up. It's like I've had
Yeah,
a year of back-to-back
yeah. Just
Playboy models,
Right.
and they all start to look the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to mix it up, you go with like a regular, like corn-fed girl
Yeah.
from the South. That's
Yeah,
a little bigger,
yeah.
but she's fucking so eager.
Just
you know?
mushy.
Exactly.
yeah.
Leonard Skinner has that line. What is it like? She'll treat me right because she's brought up on that cornbread or something like that.
I don't know that line.
Sometimes it's something along those lines, but it's something about the girl being fed on cornbread. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? This
yeah.
rural fucking southern girl that just wants to get her rocks off. You know what I mean?
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
Leonard Skinner, that song you showed me is a freaking badass song. Like I don't really listen to him that much, but when you showed me that song, I'm enchanted by that song.
I know. It's Was I
What was
Right
it
or
called?
Wrong?
Was I right or wrong? Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's an early track, but it never made it onto any of the albums until after they died.
It's so good of a song though. It's better than a lot of the other
It's
songs.
really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It just goes to show you how much talent they fucking had. And
Like-
did I tell you they had a group of fucking backup singers, 3 girls.
Yeah.
One of them died in the plane crash that took
Yeah.
a lot of the band
Yeah,
out.
yeah. 3 of the band members, right? The singer and
Guitar player
and the manager.
and the one of the backup singers.
Okay.
So she died, right? There was 2 who survived. Well, actually, one who survived, who was on the plane, and one who never got on the plane.
Right.
And she survived the crash and became a born-again Christian.
Yeah.
And I tell you, man, I've seen those early band interviews and footage of them in concert and on the
Yeah.
road, and you could tell just by looking at her that she was a huge fucking
Ho, right?
hoe.
Yeah, for
she
sure.
was enjoying the rock star life, just like any of the other guys, you know. But she was enjoying the rock star life, you know, having her pick of the litter,
Yeah.
living high. Then all of a sudden, her value, she's no longer part of a huge band. Now
Right.
she's just
a
another
girl,
girl.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And you look at her now; she's still around.
Yeah.
Fat as sin, man.
Yeah.
She's huge.
And born again Christian.
Born again Christian, but guess what? She still talks about those days being with the band fondly, saying
Yeah.
she'd do it all over again if she could.
Of course she would. And she's probably with some guy that like just
takes what he can get.
Yeah,
But
jeez.
you know, I tell you, man, I was mentioning this to somebody
This
else.
is why I say like you got to do stuff because you don't want to find out later your girl you're with has done stuff that you haven't done. You'll just-
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I was talking to the same thing to somebody else, and I was saying that it wasn't even a girl thing; it was a human nature thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We have all this. We feel so valuable, so powerful.
Yeah.
We have all these things coming our way.
Yeah.
You know, we're part of a huge rock band, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be living wildly. You're gonna be fulfilling all your fantasies, right?
Yeah.
And then once that's gone, you come back to reality and you realize I can't keep living this way anymore. It's just not an option.
Yeah.
So you start looking for the real thing, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that would happen to the guys or the girls. But there's a lot of rock stars who kept going, kept being successful.
Like Aerosmith, like
exactly. Steven Tyler. I don't think
Rolling Stones.
Exactly. So they can keep going out on
Yeah.
the road and fucking living the same rock star life that
Yeah.
they were in
And
the
they
past.
do.
And
Yeah.
they do, but
Yeah.
it's because their values stayed the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you keep your value high,
Yeah.
you can keep.
I don't know how a band, like, how does a band keep that sort of thing going? Like, think about AC/DC. Think about, like, but then think about Poison. 2 albums gone.
Yeah.
And their first album wasn't bad. It was decent. I like their music. It just was not original or something. It just wasn't. Why can they not stand the test of time, but Aerosmith can?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think a big part of it for Aerosmith was the fact that, they rode the wave of the 70s, had a bunch of big hits.
Yeah.
Dream On and all that stuff. Then they hit a wall. Drug addiction. They all go to rehab together.
Yeah.
In the 80s, come back in the 90s, late 80s, early
Yeah.
90s with a fucking string of hits. A lot of the songs that people who don't even particularly like rock and roll,
Yeah.
a lot of the Aerosmith songs that people are familiar with,
Yeah. Are they all still sober?
they fell off the wagon a bunch of times, but I think for the most part, they're all sober.
Huh.
Steven Tyler, there's been a couple incidents where he falls off the stage high and stuff like that.
I remember when he broke his leg,
Yeah.
like in
And
maybe
it-
2007
It
or
wasn't long
2008.
ago. Yeah, he fell
Oh, did
off
he
the
do it
stage.
again?
Well, that was like
Yeah.
they all went sober in the 90s, and I think they all came back with a vigor because now they were clean.
Yeah. What was that?
I don't know. I heard a yelp. Oh, she's on the phone.
Oh, okay.
They took time away. I think if you keep trying to get hit after hit after hit,
Yeah.
you're never going to be able
Like
to
you
do
take
it.
some time off.
You got to take time off.
Think about like Sting. He'll come out every 4 years with a new thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what keeps it alive. I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Poison can keep cruising off that nostalgia wave.
Yeah.
They're going on that tour with Motley Crue and Joan Jett.
Motley Crue would be good.
But you can't ride it out continuously. They have to do a nostalgia circuit.
Yeah.
So every 4 or 5 years they hit the road and they
Yeah.
can cash the check on that
But
nostalgia.
Motley
wave.
Crue is interesting because I like them, but they aren't the kind of band that I would picture standing like. Yeah, they're doing a nostalgia tour, but Aerosmith still plays.
Right.
Motley Crue would never. I don't picture them as the kind of band that would still play. They they had their time and they're done.
Yeah. I think that's the case with a lot of those 80s, early 90s bands. The punk scene, like Guns N' Roses and Poison and all that stuff, they were so far out there with more of the lifestyle than the music.
Guns N' Roses. I was watching a video. I like watching a Motley Crue video, and it looks badass. It's great to watch. I watched Guns N' Roses. I'm like, these guys are cheesy as fuck. Even Slash was
Fucking
cheesy.
cheesy
I'm like,
dick.
really? I'm like, did I really like this music? I feel ridiculous.
But when you liked it, you were fucking young, dumb, and full of cum.
I
So you were
guess,
just
dude.
fucking riding. You saw the lifestyle.
Yeah,
You saw
yeah, for
they were
sure.
fucking rock and roll.
Yeah.
So you get drawn into
Well, I
that.
like their Appetite for Destruction music too. What's our time here?
43.
Oh shoot, we should just.
So we can either wrap it up with the
We should
box
just wrap it up.
with the box segment, if you want to pick a name out of the box.
Well, do we want to? Because we did this already.
I think let's finish it up.
Okay,
And
cool.
yeah, get it out with that
My
close
nose is
out.
getting stopped up.
You want to close out with that segment?
Yeah, we can close with that. That's cool. I'm gonna try to breathe in my nose real quick. Sounds horrible. All right, who we got?
All right, I'm gonna draw this time. Damn, there's a lot in there, man.
I put 10 in there.
That's a fucking fraction of the freaking.
I put 10
All right, here we go.
because I didn't want to know who it was. I wanted to. I sort of looked at. Okay, I have a story about him, but I didn't really look at too much.
Her.
Oh, I can see it from through. That's Mia.
It
That's Mia.
It doesn't have her name on it, so you remember her from the pictures.
Well, I remember her. She was cute. Remember, I remember seeing her picture. I was like, oh my god, I want her. And
Yep.
She was like, I was like, oh, I called her Red. Yeah, she was cute. I love those pictures. I was really.
How many
hot
times
for
did
her.
you see her?
Just twice.
Twice. She came over to your place right away the first time.
Yeah, she lived down in Monterey. She drove all the way to my
So
place.
wow, that's a long drive for a girl to come up
Yeah.
to go straight to your house first time.
Yeah, well, you know what happened? We were talking on the phone. I actually would not usually recommend talking on the phone or FaceTime a lot with somebody. It just, you build a lot of investment and you're not getting much out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a pretty good connection. And she told me she had been married to a guy and hadn't had sex in 3 years. And she wanted me to be the first back when she started again. And I was the
Nice.
second guy she had ever slept with.
Oh, so
Like,
she
outside
married
work.
the guy she lost her virginity to.
Yeah. And she would make fun of him sometimes. She'd be like, "Yeah, I would always make him wear a condom."
What?
she said, I would tell him it was for lubrication, but I just didn't want him to.
That probably started out. You think that sort of thing starts out as a shit test? Your wife tells you to wear a condom when you fuck her?
No, I think she just didn't like him by the end. I think, yeah.
Goddamn.
But yeah, she came over. She was in her 20s, early 20s. I don't remember exactly how old. And I was like not escalating that much because I knew it was going to happen. And all of a sudden, she started escalating on me. And
she was 23.
She was so tight, dude.
She must have been fucking tight as hell. She's 23.
Is she 23?
So she got divorced.
No, I don't know how. She's early 20s.
23, it says.
Oh, okay. All right.
She came to you at 23.
Yeah.
Had been divorced at 20.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that would be right. Yeah.
Been unfulfilled for those 3 years.
Yeah.
And probably towards the end of her marriage, too.
Yeah.
So let's say she's 19.
You know what she told me? When she's like, well, if we date, you can't ever come to my place because she says, because I live around a lot of people I work with. And if the guys know I'm dating, I can't make them do stuff for me at work.
So she's...
It's like, are you kidding me, man? Manipulation, right?
Yeah.
So.
You trying to make an appearance?
No, go ahead. I just want to see how it looks like.
So, yeah. But that was interesting, huh?
That's unbelievable, man. You've had a couple stories like that. I remember.
Yeah.
I want to get into the one you mentioned to me last time, where you go down to the hotel and there's a baby.
Oh my god,
that's fucking
that's
wild.
in the box.
Let's save that one for the next time. That's fucking unbelievable.
We should just pull that story out. And
it
just talk
fucking
about
blew my fucking balls off. Dude.
Remember though, I went down and she I couldn't find her because she was like gone. And then I came back to the house and I'm like, I'm not going back down there. She called me. She's like, come to the hotel. I just ended up going. But the story itself. Oh yeah. We'll talk about that next time.
It's fucking bonkers. A wild one here tonight, man.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk about it next time.
Any parting words or we'll
I think we should always say dating is a social skill. I coined that phrase. So I like that phrase. Dating's a social skill. Remember that.
Remember that, folks?
Yeah.
It'll be good.